this study is about identifying the effect of safety culture. Coming to the research gap, this is, I think I have to explain this one. Most of the research is done in more developed nations. Effect of safety culture on safety performance. Most of the research have been done on developed countries. No study was conducted combining all these three study variables at the time of conducting this research study in Ethiopia. So that drove me to conduct this research. And none of the prior researchers have looked into the safety management system as a mediating role in the relationship between safety culture and safety management system, particularly in the manufacturing industry. I try to summarize the whole sub-chapter 3 with this table. I try to go through. I think I have time. So, my type of research is quantitative cause and effect method, and the method I use is questionnaire. The data I try to see both primary and secondary data. Primary questionnaire considered, I prepared a questionnaire in both English and Amharic. My secondary data, research paper, I try to see a research paper around this topic, thesis, factory data, including the report, and some reports from Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs, because I have already involved in this occupation, so I have a good relation. I try to gather as much data as possible from Ministry of Labor and Social Affairs. I have 5-point Likert scale. I used 5-point Likert scale. The total items I considered was all the 3 study variables. Initially, they have been 20. I tried to see respondents' backgrounds. There were 7 items, including gender, age, education status, experience, department, and position they have, and including training. All these 7 items are under respondents' background. Independent variable is safety culture, I said it earlier, having 8 items. Mediating variables is safety management system, having 5 items. And my dependent variable is safety performance, having 7 items. I used simple random sampling technique. I determined my sample size based on the famous human formula, this one. My population is 167, so my sample size based on this calculation, it will be 118. I used MSS, Spaces software, especially version 24 and including Excel, Word. My response rate is 95, almost 96% response rate. I try to distribute 123 questionnaires, so I try to obtain 118. Coming to validity, I try to ensure face and content validity. I discuss with factory, production supervisors, thesis advisors, and some employees. Reliability, corrected item total correction factor and chroma alpha. I have to check that. I have to check that. So the chroma alpha for safety culture is about 0.8, above is 0.7, and for safety management system 0.769, and for that of safety performance 0.84. I come to that result. So regarding data analysis, I used a procedure Universal consider correlation scale there. So with regard to regression, simple regression, t-value, R-square value, and hypothesis were my procedures. So for each, they have a method, t-value, they have a standard, this is valid standard, and hypothesis, t-value and p-value. Mediation, I use HASTE method, process micro, model 4, to my case, because I was considering only a single median, so I have to make that process micro, model 4. Coming to data collection and analysis, almost about 79% were men, about 84% with the age of 26 and 65 years. And the respondents, almost 90% of the respondents scored higher secondary school, TVET, 10 plus 1, 10 plus 2 in diploma. 84% of the respondents were from production department, operation. About 48%, they were 5 to 8 years of work experience, and almost 94%, they have already participated in safety training. So coming to the results, descriptive statistics analysis of safety culture, safety management system, and safety performance. So safety culture items, overall mean value, it was 3.93. So almost all respondents highly agreed on the overall items of safety culture practices. Safety management system with overall mean value 3.69. That means most respondents agreed on the overall items of safety management system and safety performance. The overall mean 3.86. That means they agreed on the overall items of safety performance. And correlation, as we see here, the correlation coefficient for my study variables under investigation, that is safety culture, safety management system, and safety performance, were relatively high, ranging from 0.458 to 505. For safety culture, we see the correlation factor 0.484, so it has a positive and moderate correlation with safety performance, and that of safety management system is 0.505. That's high correlation, and that of safety performance it is 0.505. I mean 0.458. Let me come to regression. So regression, before going to regression, I have to make sure that some basic assumptions should be fulfilled before going to regression analysis. So the first assumption was to ensure that my data has a correct sample size. So according to these authors, at least 66 cases or samples are needed in order to conduct a regression. In my case, 180. My sample size was 180, so that is more than enough to conduct regression. Coming to multipolarity test is also assumption. I have to test that.
Levels.
Okay. Okay. Here, yeah. Here, I used linear regression to check the effect of safety culture on safety performance. So here, as we see, safety culture has a positive effect on safety performance at 0.000 significance level. When it comes to SMS, safety culture has a positive effect on SMS at the significance level of 0.000 liter. So by this I mean my first formula hypothesis has already been accepted, fulfilled. Likewise, my second formulation, effect of safety culture on SMS has a positive and significant effect. I have already formulated that hypothesis. So as I see here, as we see here, it has already been fulfilled. So my second hypothesis is also accepted. Coming to my second, the linear regression of SMS or STP. So here also we have a positive effect on SMS has a positive effect on safety performance at 0.00 significance level. So that hypothesis is also accepted. Here I have already formulated both safety culture and SMS have a positive and significant effect on safety performance. This also showed me that a positive effect is there, and at significance level 0.00. So statistically significant. So all my 5 hypotheses were satisfied. So coming to mediation, yeah, one of my hypotheses was SMS mediates in the relationship between safety culture and safety performance. So I used HACE method. This process micro, particularly model 4. So here, variation accounted for is calculated based on indirect effect and divided by total effect. Total effect means direct effect plus indirect effect. So we have already total effect, this one, direct effect plus indirect effect, and we have an indirect effect. So when we divide direct effect by total effect, we have a variation accounted for. That means that it is this approach that determines the mediation effect of safety management system in the relationship between safety culture and safety performance. So here, based on this calculation, we have 26.69%. So SMS has a partial mediates in the relationship between safety culture and safety performance. Because I'm already in chapter 3, I summarize it from 20 VAF or variation account from 20 to 80. If that is so, then partial mediation. If it is VAF is above 80, full mediation. If it is below 20, no mediation at all. So here is my final model. So I already discussed this. We have 26%. So finally, I would like to put some concluding remark based on my research. Employees encourage each other to report any safety concerns they may have. This was the item that was included in the safety culture. So this was the most critical success item for safety culture. The company established safety and healthy level signage and symbols in the workplace. This was the most critical success factor for safety performance. Furthermore, a direct positive relationship was proven to have existed between safety culture and safety management system, safety culture with safety performance, and safety management system with safety performance. This was already explained in my research. The process micro HACE test method for mediating role proved that SMS mediates, partially mediates the relationship between safety culture and safety management system. Lastly, I would like to recommend, I would like to put some recommendations based on my research. This is my final slide. So the management should act upon employee suggestions regarding safety matters, and senior management should also listen to and care about employee safety concerns. So this recommendation is, I put this recommendation because it was one of the output of my study. When we ran the mean score, this was not that much accepted by the respondents. So I would like to recommend for the company or as a part of my research, the management should act upon these employee suggestions regarding safety matter, and senior management should also listen to their employees' safety concern. There must be an understanding that workers will be thanked for their safety performance, and the organization should also offer safety incentives. So rewards and incentive methods as part of safety program should be there. This was another recommendation. The factory can also improve its safety performance by establishing safety management system, focusing on clearly defined strategy, safety responsibility and accountability, and placing more importance on safety by managers and personnel. Lastly, the management of the factory has to create and constantly implement safety management system by offering safety incentive, I said it already, to employees and managers and workers, so that safety culture and SMEs safety management system practice will be enhanced. This will end my presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Now time to discuss about the paper. I would like to invite the external examiner, Advantage.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Haktan, for your clear presentation and presentation as well as and I have some sort of comments and questions from papers, like starting from the type of training up to giving information. So your title is good, and what the question is that definition of key terms in the safety culture, safety beliefs, norms, attitudes, the basic words that needs to have a number of items, whereas your questions are very limited. That cannot be that cannot help you to measure exactly what safety culture is, because safety culture is scope is broad. So, Sigan on questionnaire, በጣም ሰርፕራይዝ ነው ያደረገኝ። ላይ መጠይቆቹ ዳኖት ሄዱት ሜጀር ኦር ደ ስኪልስ እና እኔ ሴፍቲ ካልቸር ስትለኝ ስለ ቢሊፍሳቸው ጥያቄዎች ማግኘት የሚገለበት ስለ ኖርማቸው ስለ አቲቲዩዳቸው ተዋት ፕላስቲክ ካምፓኒ እና ጥያቄዎች በጣም ትንሽ ናቸው። የታቸው ከሆነ ሰምሃው ኢማቴሪያል ሜጀር ሴፍቲ ካልቸር ሴፍቲ ፐርፎርማንስ ሴፍቲ ማኔጅመንት እነዚህ ጥያቄዎች አድቫይዘር እንዴት ታያቸዋላችሁ? ስኮፕ በጣም ሰፊ ነው ኢሹ እና ስም ጥያቄ 7 ጥያቄ 5 ጥያቄ ብለው እንደዚህ ሆነ just you have time እና ይሄ ኮስችን ኮንክሉዥን ለመስጠት ለኔ ሰማው ኮስችናሪ በተመሳሳይ የሴፍቲ ካልቸርን ዲፋይን ስታደርገው ካልቸር ባይንስ ሴፍቲ ፐርፎርማንስ ስኮፕ ሰፊ ሴፍቲ ማኔጅመንት ፔፐሩን አሁን እንደገና ስንባል ኢሹ እንዳለ ነው the way you approach is good እዚህ ጋር ግን ኢፌል ቱ አክሰስ ከዛ በተጨማሪ እዚህ ጋር ፍሬምወርኩ ጋር ስመጣ of course I recommend you to have to state or cite the authors. Framework develop ያደረግበትን author cite ካደረግበት this the master's thesis. So you bring this cases from this framework from someone and you will have to place this here. The feasibility of this framework to a certain organization. That's part of the framework. ውጤት አለ ወይስ የለውም ነው የሚመስለው። ስለዚህ ይህንን ለማድረግ ዲስፕሌይመንት ሀፒን ወደ ደብሮ ባይሰንደሊት ሶ እዚህ ጋር ሳይት ብታረግ ከማን ይወሰደው ጥሩ ነው። እንደገና ፕሬዘንቴሽን ይልና እዚህ ጋር ስንመጣ ፍሬምወርክ ላይ ስንመጣ this is structure of your paper so ፍሬምወርክ እንደሚያሳየው እነዚህ አሮ የራሳቸው ትርጉም አላቸውና አንድ ነው እዚህ ጋር ማለት ያለበት ሁለት አይደለም there's no two variants ይላል አንድ ላይ ያለ እሱ አንድ ባሪያ ታደርጓለ ማለት ነው ላይ ይሆናል። ከዛ በተጨማሪ ፎር ሚ እስኪ what do you mean by መጀመሪያ ፕሮሰስ ሞዴል ማይክሮ ሞዴል ማለት ምንድን ነው? መጀመሪያ ሚገረኝ ምን ማለት ነው? ፕሮሰስ ማይክሮ ሞዴል
ሚዲዬሽን የሚዲቲንግ ቫሪያብል ሮልን በሁለት አይነት መንገድ ነው ማለት ነው። በሶል ቴስት አለ፣ በሄስ ሜተድ አለ። ሶ ሄስ ሜተድ ተጨማሪ ፕሮሰስ ማይክሮ ሞዴል ፎር ሶፍትዌር እዛ ስፔሲስ ላይ ኢንስቶል ተደርጎ ነው የሚሰራው። ምክንያቱም ኦልሬዲ ሳይንቲፊካሊ ፕሩፍድ ነው። ሚዲዬሽን ሮል ኦፍ አሁን ኢን ማይ ኬዝ ኢት ዋዝ ኤስኤምኤስ ሶ ኢን ኦርደር ቱ ሜጀር ዘ ሚዲዬቲንግ ሮል ኦፍ ዚስ study variable, I have to use the Hayes method. So either I have to use solid test or Hayes method. So when I decided to use Hayes method, because the solid test method is usually used for a sample size more than 300. So in my under a sample size 300, so we use Hayes method to measure the mediating role of this study variable. So we just install a process micro additional software on SPSS.
Like SPSS
ስፔሲስ ላይ አሁን ኬስ ሜተድ ምንድን ነው? አንድ ቫሪያብል ሲሆን ኦር ሲንግል ሚዲየቲንግ ቫሪያብል ሆነ ሞዴል ፎር የምንጠቀም ሞዴል ፎር ያው ፍሮም ማይ ሳይድ ቱ ማይ ኖሌጅ ነው ያው አማሰል ቱ ማይ ኖሌጅ ቢኮዝ አይ have exhaustively done all this for the last 8 months. So, in my understanding, as process micro model 4, I installed on SPSS as part of SPSS, then I run that.
Is that a software or is that analysis technique?
Analysis technique, but it has to be installed on software. It is analysis technique, but it has to be software. If I were to consider 2 mediating variables here, I tried that, but at some way I just back to one single mediating variable. So when I were to consider 2 mediating variables, I will not be used model 4, another model 5 or something. There are 9 models under process micro as method. That's why I use that.
But in your analysis technique, you said that I will use linear and multiple regression. Multiple regression, but I'm not linear analysis.
Yes.
That's my question. How do you do it? Linear regression card, give the linear regression three times. The other question, the other question, has a hierarchical regression. Here somehow manual, like the direct class direct, this one is greater, this one is somehow manual techniques.
Not manual. Not manual. That it seems
I think it's about አንዳንድ እንትኖች ፓርቶች የሚሉት ማለት ናቸው። ኮሚቴዎች ይጻፋቸው
እና መጨረሻ ላይ መልስ
ሰዓት ይባላል።
ኦኬ እሺ ኦኬ
ሶ ይሄኛውን ዳታው ስላለ ተጠቀም ሪከመንድ ማለት ነው። ምክንያቱም አናሊሲስ ቴክኒክ ሊኒየር ሪግሬሽን ነው ካል አሁን ሰማው እዚህ ጋር ከማይክሮ ሞዴል ጋር አንተም ራሱ ክሊር ስላልሆነ ነው ብሪፍ ታረጋኝ ይጠየቁ። ምክንያቱም ፕሮሰስ ማይክሮ ሞዴል ከሆነ is that process micro model is analysis technique or a software? That's my question. If it is analysis technique, what regression management is that? የተጠቀምከው ደግሞ እዛ ጋር ሳይሆን ላይክ ቫሪያብልም አንዳንድ ስለሆነ ቫሪያንት አናሊሲስ ነው እንደገና ስቴፕ ዋይዝ ሄድ እና ትንሽ ኮምፕሊኬሽን አለ ላይክ ክሊር አለመሆን ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ you have the data, so better to use hierarchical regression. Like ለምሳሌ independent variables, safety culture has a positive effect on mediating variables. Then ከዛ በኋላ ደግሞ mediating variables has positive effect on safety performance, and then controlling the mediating variables, which is mediating variable and independent variable, safety culture and the effect on time. አለው ተጠቀመው ዛሬ ቴብል የሚሰጡ አውትፑት አለ። እነሱም ቤዝ አድርገን ነው የምታረገው። ሰማው ያልኩን እሱ ጋር ነው እንትን የኔ ምናልባትም ብዛት እኔም ፋሚሊያር ስላልሆንኩ ማለት ነው። ግን ምንድነው ኤንዌይስ እዛ ጋር ስህተት አለው ኤንዌይስ ፕላስ ሃይፖቴሲሶችን ሳያቸው አንተ ያየው ኢፌክቱን ያጠናው አይደል? ይሳይ ዳት ኢፌክት ማለት አለ ሪሌሽንሺፕ እያልኩ ነው የገለጽኩት። ኢፌክት ሪሌሽንሺፕ ያጠናው ግንኙነታቸው ብቻ ነው። አልዘይ ፋሚሊ ዘመድ ዝምድና አላቸው የላቸውም ለሚያሳየው ሃይፖቴሲስ መሆን ያለበት ሲግኒፊካንት ኢፌክት አሰስመንት ነው አይደል? ኢፌክት ኦፍ ሴፍቲ ሶ አሁን ሪሌሽንሺፕ ታዲያ ሪሌሽንሺፕ ከሆነ ጥናት ይጠይቀው ማለት ነው ኮሪሌሽን አናሊሲስ ያኛው ካል there is another